This morning on DC News Now, Virginia police recovering a body amid a search for missing teen Kyle Coleman.
Look around and you see all the people that's out here. This is because of Kyle. Kyle has brought us together.
The community remembering his positive impact on their lives. And today's the pick of the week with low humidity, sunshine, and highs in the 80s, turning hotter and more humid to round out the week. From LA to the district, people speaking out against ICE.
We are united and we're going to fight back. We're not going to hide in our houses.
Their message of support to local immigrant communities. And shining a light on hidden conditions. A mother and son's mission to bring awareness to people with autism or other disabilities. And new tech taking notes. How a new voice app could help you transcribe your next meeting.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good morning, and thanks for starting your Wednesday with us here on DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Tanaya Wright.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Yammer Sase. Filling in for Shanika Grimshaw and Jackie. Is going to be hot outside today.
Yeah, but with lower humidity. So
okay,
thankfully
much
we don't.
Better.
Exactly, we'll take that. It'll feel comfortable. And we'll also see some hazy sunshine too, so you'll notice that. So at least we have the sun, but it'll be hazy because of the Canadian wildfire smoke. Temperatures out there right now into the 50s and 60s for much of the map, aside from Annapolis and Lexington Park still holding at 70 degrees. But we do have those 50s though for much of the I-81 corridor. We're also settling into some lower dew points, meaning some lower humidity, feeling much more comfortable along and west of the I-81 corridor right now, also including the Shenandoah Valley. But in DC, areas south and east still feeling muggy at this point. We have those dew points into those low to mid 60s there. Eventually, we'll see those dew points lower ever so slightly more as this cold front continues to lift its way eastward. That is the reason why we are seeing more of that lower humidity being ushered in. High pressure back out towards our west. That will keep us dry and quiet out there today. We just see some of that haze because of that Canadian wildfire smoke as temperatures will rise mid to upper 80s out there for later on today, but with comfortable humidity. So at least it will be hot, but at least comfortable. Now tomorrow and Friday will be a little bit of a different story as more of that heat and humidity build back in. More details on that coming up. All right, well, breaking news out of D.C. this morning. Police investigating a shooting in Southeast. This happened last night on East Capitol. Police say that they found a man shot. He was not breathing. Stay with us for the latest updates. And sad news out of Fairfax County, Virginia this morning, where the body of a missing teen is believed to have been found just days after he was reported missing. Yeah, that's right. Our Candace Cole is live in Tysons with more details. Candace?
Good morning, guys. Well, we are here in Tysons where Fairfax County police recovered the body of a person in a small pond over here in the area behind me. Not so sure how much you can see. Of course, you can see that it's a very grassy area, but we're over here off West Park and Galleria Drive, again in Tysons. Now, that news came as the family of 19-year-old Kyle Coleman, who had been reported missing since over the weekend. They were holding a vigil in his honor, hoping for his return back home. Now, Coleman, who had last been seen on Saturday, June 7th, just after midnight, after being involved in a car accident in Fairfax County. Fairfax County police say a death investigation is now underway. A social media post from Fairfax PD on Monday said Coleman's car had been found unoccupied after the crash, and he was, quote, believed to be missing under voluntary circumstances. Now, police have not identified the body that was found as Coleman, but his family and friends believe that it is.
He had such the greatest smile, and just, you know, when you think about it, you even in the sadness, you smile. But that's what I want to take. He was a phenomenal young man.
Look around and you see all the people that's out here. This is because of Kyle. Kyle has brought us together.
Yes.
That's what he's done.
Now, there are still many unanswered questions. Most top of mind, who exactly is that person and what happened to Kyle Coleman? We will continue to follow this story and bring you the latest updates as we get them. For now, reporting live in Tysons, Candace Cole, DC News Now.
Well, thank you so much, Candace. And developing now at American University, multiple dorms evacuated due to police activity. This coming after a man climbing a communication tower on the south side of campus. Evacuated dorms included Centennial, Letts, and Anderson. A shelter-in-place order was also given for the Hall of Science. Now, Watkins, Krieger, and Hamilton. As of right now, it is unclear if these orders are still in place, and we have reached out to police and have not heard back just yet.
And a concerning case of assault in Maryland. Now, we do have to warn you, some of these details are disturbing. Several student athletes are accused of attacking another teen in Frederick County, Maryland. Now, investigators say 5 students used a sex toy to terrorize other kids in a locker room, and this was at Brunswick High School. They say 4 are part of the lacrosse team. 1 is a baseball player. One teen recorded the incident on a cell phone. It is leaving authorities alarmed.
Actually shocking that young men like that would do things which they know is wrong. They knew it was wrong, and whatever prompted them to do it, you have to wonder why.
The Frederick County School District declined to comment on the matter.
And continuing coverage on the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Department of Justice says it's followed the court's order with the wrongly deported Maryland man now back in the U.S. And now the DOJ wants to close the case. They're filing to dismiss this case by mid-June. Abrego Garcia is now facing serious federal criminal charges of human smuggling. His attorney saying this case is not over as the government still improperly shipped him off to El Salvador without due process.
And LA officials are setting a new overnight curfew following protests against an increased immigration enforcement. Some 200 demonstrators were arrested yesterday, the majority for not dispersing when they were told to by police. Now, earlier this week, the Trump administration deploying 4,000 members of the National Guard and 700 Marines to curb the protests. The Pentagon says the price tag for this deployment sits at more than $130 million. California Governor Gavin Newsom blasting President Trump for this decision, saying it is only making things worse.
He chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation.
Trump dismissing the notion, saying that he is using the military to de-escalate the situation. This all started after ICE raids took place outside of a Home Depot, a clothes manufacturer, and multiple other locations in LA County. Governor Newsom says he would prefer if ICE went after those with serious criminal records or final deportation orders instead of doing those raids. Meantime, here in the DMV, demonstrations also taking place against the increased immigration enforcement.
Yeah, that's right. DC News Now Daniel Hamburg spoke to some protesters in the district who say they don't want ICE raids to happen here at all.
A big crowd of immigrants and supporters filled Columbia Heights Plaza with one central message.
The main message is that we are together, that we are united. We are united, and we're going to fight back. We're not going to hide in our houses. We're going to come out and fight back.
In this neighborhood, there's uncertainty about what could happen.
I have family and friends my age who are, immigrants, and they fear for their lives.
Among the protesters is Michelle Chai, who's in D.C. to protest Trump's military parade, but was a part of protests in Los Angeles that broke out after ICE raided a Home Depot and detained day laborers.
The protesters were peaceful. Who brought the violence were ICE, were Homeland Security, were the FBI, and since then Trump has sent the National Guard and is now threatening to send the Marines.
A sizable number of D.C. police officers surrounded the rally as a precaution, knowing what's happened in L.A.
And I think LA has the right to protest. They're being invaded, and we don't want that to happen to Washington, D.C.
These protesters want the military out of L.A., and they're demanding ICE stop targeting immigrants.
Our city, and we deserve respect.
That was our Daniel Hamburg reporting. Now, this rally only lasted about an hour, but it's clear they won't stop pushing back against ICE. They tell us they will continue protesting until something changes. And D.C. and L.A. are not the only cities protesting ICE. This video on the left is from Chicago, and the video on the right on your screen is from the Atlanta area. Now, protests taking place across the country, including at a Trump hotel in New York City. Even more demonstrations are planned to coincide with this weekend's military parade here in the district.
And a stern warning from President Trump for Saturday's military parade in D.C. He is saying that anyone planning to protest the event will be met with very big force. Now, the parade expected to bring hundreds of thousands of people to the district. Officials say they were aware of some planned counter-protests, but no credible threats. The Secret Service says it's also keeping a close eye on riots and the protests happening in L.A.
We're going to be celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protester who wants to come out, they will be met with very big force.
We're not expecting it. We have no intelligence of that, happening here. But if it does, we have the resources to handle it.
And more fencing is up and more heavy military vehicles were seen staging nearby at the Pentagon. Everyone attending the event will enter through specific checkpoints and be screened by metal detectors before heading into fenced areas along the mall. And that parade will cause dozens of street closures and detours. Metrobus route changes take effect Thursday. Some road closures in Virginia start tomorrow as well. Now, Reagan National Airport's closing from 6:30 to 10. You can find a full list of changes on our website, dcnewsnow.com. And in the district, D.C. Public Schools banning cell phones in the new school year.
Yeah, that's right. DCPS announcing a bell-to-bell policy. That means no phones on school grounds during school hours. Now, this applies to all schools K through 12. Currently, all middle schools and some high schools already have these cell phone bans in place, including McKinley Tech. At McKinley, students use a locker system to store their phones.
I know that other people at other schools will be on their phones, and we kind of just have to talk to each other. So I think it does help, as somebody like me that doesn't really go out to talk to people a lot. It kind of forced me to talk to people because I didn't really have a choice.
Now, DCPS says each school will decide how to implement the policy, which could include keeping phones in lockers, pouches, bins, and backpacks. And just one more day of school for kids in Fairfax County Public Schools. According to ffxnow.com, the county library's summer reading program is back. And starting today, everyone will be able to log books they read over the summer. They can also be entered into a drawing for a $25 e-gift card. And Juneteenth is next week. The day commemorates the end of slavery in the United States following the Civil War. Now, U.S. Major General Gordon Granger issued General Order 3 in Galveston, Texas in 1865. That document is now being displayed at a museum.
It's the only known copy that we're aware of the General Order number 3. Oftentimes they would put it, nail it onto a pole or take it to the post office, but it was somewhere where people can see. It was like an advertising piece for people to know what was going on.
And Juneteenth, which happens every year on June 19th, became a federal holiday in 2021. Well, your time now is 6:11. A Maryland family being honored for their hard work.
Coming up, how they're spearheading new legislation known as Eric's Law Plus, trading bills for bats. Details on today's upcoming annual congressional baseball game.
And taking a live look outside, it is a little cloudy right now, but it's going to be extremely hot today. Jackie, I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to be heating up back in the mid-upper 80s, but with lower humidity. Will be hazy sunshine, though, today. Even hotter for Thursday and Friday. More details on those numbers right after the break.